Hello, how is everyone? This is Elena Valdez. I'm here to do your Gemini child reading, and this is for the parents and guardians of the Gemini child. And so please remember to subscribe, comment, and press the like button. It helps the algorithms. It helps YouTube know that you are liking the content so that they can share my channel with others as well. So again, thank you for being here. Let's get started. So this is for November. But again, whenever you stumble upon this and if it resonates, it's meant for you. Hope everyone is having a wonderful end of October and November here at this Scorpio season. Okay, so let's start with what your Gemini child is experiencing during the month of November. What is your Gemini child experiencing during the month of November? And once again, we're using the MONSTAROT deck, which I think is perfect in terms of the child perspective. And oh, that is so sweet. Two of Cups. Wonderful. And what is the challenge or potential challenge that your Gemini child could be facing during the month of November? Let's see. For the Gemini child challenge they could be facing during the month of November. Oh, you get two cards for challenges. And what does your Gemini child need most from you during the month of November? Does your Gemini child need most from you during the month of November? There you go, the Wheel of Fortune. Very nice. Okay, so we'll start with Two of Cups. Isn't that beautiful? I love these cards. They are so perfect for this playlist. Okay, so the Two of Cups. So Gemini here, and of course, remember, I'm reading this from the perspective of the child, and this can range anywhere from itty bitty babies up until, you know, high school, because I know some of you see your big babies as children still. So, you know, it's whatever works for you and your household, and you can apply it however you wish in terms of age, okay? So originally, in terms of the tarot, the Two of Cups is usually seen in a more romantic context, right? But obviously, since we're talking about children here, we're going to see it a little differently. And in this context, the cups represents creativity, right? And also playfulness in terms of a child. And the Two of Cups represents the partnership of those things. So it looks like your Gemini child, number one, may have either a new sibling that's come into the picture that's allowing for emotional self-expression. Also could be a new classmate, maybe even a new little boyfriend or girlfriend, depending on the age, right, of your child, or perhaps even a little crush. If we, depending, again, it depends on the age, right? Although I do remember being very young and having a crush on my teachers when I was little, so that could be a thing too. But in any case, here it suggests feeling very comfortable with their companionship. So that can be their siblings, it can be their classmates, it can be their neighbors, even pets, because remember, pets are part of this journey for children as well as adults, but very much especially for children. And if you see here, you have that wise owl, right? Towering over them and watching out. So your child is really feeling protected in this connection, feeling very comfortable, and almost as, not almost, but as if they can very much see themselves or their own reflection. I very much am feeling sibling connection here, or perhaps a new cousin that they didn't know, hadn't met before, and they're all of a sudden spending more time together. But either way, depending on, of course, it's going to be different, like I've said before, right, for every household. But basically the bottom line is that your child is very content with the new friendship or the new companionship that he or she or they have access to here during the month of November. I'm also recording this at the end of November, so this could already be happening October, November-ish, right? Or whenever you come across this reading. So that's very, very nice, especially for Gemini, right? Geminis need to have that companionship, that stimulation, that intellectual, mental, playful stimulation. And it looks like your child is definitely getting that in the month of November. In terms of challenges, this is very interesting because you have the 10 of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups, which generally in any tarot deck or any tarot reading, these two are some of the favorites to get, right? These are the two cards that you always want to get in a reading. It's a little different when you get it in the challenge, right? So and again, we have to keep it in the child context, right? So if you're getting the 10 of Pentacles here, meaning this is full completion and satisfaction of all things gathered, all things learned, tangibles, you know, your child's toys, your child's shows that they watch, your child's schoolwork, like full accomplishment in that area and contentment, right? So how could that possibly be a challenge? Well, here's how, because it's partnered with the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups can sometimes be, you know, having a little too much fun or having a little too much joy to the point that it can be distracting, right? So it could potentially, this joyfulness or even distractions can get in the way of other things and responsibilities that your child needs to attend to, right? So that could be schoolwork, it could be their other siblings, it can also be this new friendship that your child has come into, or you know, whatever this companionship is for your child. It could mean that your little Gemini is having such a blast in it that is maybe failing to see his other siblings or other companions, other little friends that love him and adore him, right? Or his home life, but as well as like his responsibilities. And remember, when I say he, I'm not really specifically, I'm not speaking gender. Okay, just in general. He, she, they. These are very inclusive readings. I know you know that, but I just needed to say that. So the challenge that your little Gemini could be facing is sort of a disregard for responsibility because they're having so much fun and they're enjoying their new friendships and they're enjoying their life and their surroundings. And Nine of Cups is also, you know, creation and, you know, all the things we love to do, like the shows that they're watching. Maybe they're busy creating something fun, or they've come across a new toy or a new way of doing things or a new park that they like. There's a lot of inclination towards nature here as well. I just saw a little Gemini collecting bugs and really being into collecting little bugs, whether it be wherever, depending on where you live in the world, right? It can be many things. It could be little spiders, or it can be, you know, ladybugs, depending on where you are. It could be so many different things. But the bottom line is that your Gemini is just having a blast doing whatever it is that he or she is into right now. And it could potentially be distracting with the chores and the responsibilities and the have tos, right? And so this is, you know, so you're going to notice a little scatteredness. You know, Geminis are generally, you know, very intellectual, usually always on in their minds, right? So you could have a little writer too, somebody, a little guy who is having so much fun writing little stories or writing little poetry in their bedroom or in the, you know, forest or wherever it is that you live, that they're just finding so yummy and they're enjoying their time and space, but it has nothing to do with what they are quote unquote supposed to be doing, right? So there's the supposed to be doing homework from school, and then there's the projects that they themselves have created or come into, or friendships that they've come into that are so much more fun than the responsibilities that they have to complete. So yeah, so that's not too bad of a challenge to have, though, is it? Especially if your little one is happy, then not too shabby of a challenge to have. But let's move on to what your child needs most from you this month. And you get the Wheel of Fortune. And here is a transition or a change from what is currently happening, right? Because the Wheel of Fortune is about changing the trajectory or the direction that something is going, right? So it can be twofold. It can be moving away from something positive to something negative. And I hate to use that word, but we're just going to use it as an example. Or the opposite, moving away from something negative or something positive. Or moving away from walking to driving, from driving to walking. You get the gist. So in this case, if this is coming up in terms of what your child needs most from you during the month of November, if this behavior here of distracting himself from the usual is new, something different, then this indicates that your child needs you to allow him or her to go with that flow, to allow this change to happen, to allow the usual way of being to move to a different direction and bring in new experiences for your child. Now, on the other hand, if this is something that has been going on for a while, where your child is going off and making all these awesome friendships and having fun and only focusing on the projects that matter to him or her, then this is an indication that it's time to move the wheel to the other direction and bring him or her back to the chores and, all those things that they've been distracting themselves from. So this will depend on where they are in this journey. If this is new for them, this means let it be, allow for this, because it will bring some beautiful new self-awareness. They'll get to learn there's a learning here. There's something new that your little child, Gemini, is exploring or learning about him or herself during or because of this exploration, because of this new friendship, right? So, and again, I want to repeat, however, if this is something that's been going on for a while and your child has been getting distracted for quite a long time, it's time for you to step in as the parent and the guardian and change the wheel or move the wheel to the opposite direction. But I'm getting that this is new. For most of you, this is a newer thing that's just started happening. And it's okay. It's okay to allow this shift to transpire. And there's some learning here for you too as a parent. Like there's something about yourself that you're also going to experience through their transition and self-awareness that they are gaining here. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to pull a card as an advice card for you, the guardian or the parent of this child. And usually this card is tied to the challenge. So it'll be the advice as to how to handle the challenge. It's not always tied, but most of the time I'm seeing that with these readings it is. So let's see what advice Spirit has for you, the parent, guardian of the Gemini child, in relationship to your Gemini. What advice does Spirit have for you? Let's see. You get 2 cards for advice. Okay, let's see. You get the 7 of crystals. So that's the 7 of earth or 7 of pentacles. And then you get the 9 of shells, which is actually this card here, the 9 of cups. So it's interesting that your 9 of cups came paired with the pentacles card for your child. And it also came paired with the pentacles card, although we know it as crystals here. But you have a cups card, the 9 of cups, paired with another pentacles card for you. Coincidence? I don't think so. So here, let me show you these beautiful, stunning cards. I'll leave a link below if you're interested in the info about these cards. Okay, so here, now we have the Nine of Shells, which is, in this context, we're talking about gratitude and fulfillment. We're talking about contentment. We're talking about joy. We're talking about appreciating all the yumminess that's coming towards you. And then we have the Seven of Crystals, which is assessing the result of our actions, assessing the investment of our, or the result of our investments, and also weighing our options, right? But this is all very material. It's about our responsibilities and whatnot. So you have it's very similar to these two here, right? But if it's coming in as advice for you, the parent, it's basically saying to you to embrace this Nine of Shells or this Nine of Cups energy that your child is going through. Not just embrace it, but also be it for yourself. Allow your child, your Gemini, to see that embodied within you. There's a need here, and it's interesting because this is the Wheel of Fortune here, indicating allowing the flow of the wheel to turn and moving towards the flow of the wheel, right? So in advice, it's basically saying, trust the amount of work and investment that you and your child have put into the responsibilities. Trust that it's been done well and that enough time and effort has been put into those responsibilities to enjoy this. Very, very clear to me. That's what this is. Very plain and simple. Trust that your child will come back to the chores, the responsibility. This is something beautiful that he or she is experiencing, this new companionship, this new way of just being, exploring, creating something that's not something they have to do for the sake of having to do. They're actually living and doing for the sake of just living and doing. And that's a beautiful thing. So Spirit is advising you to get in that same energy, that you yourself could benefit from being in that Nine of Cups energy. And that you already, you know enough, you need to trust yourself enough to also know when it's time to come back, to shift the gears. That you know exactly when it's time, when you know the results, when it's the proper time to come back from that fun. In other words, you know the balance, you know how to balance it. You need to trust yourself. But there's a big need here. There is a big, big, not just need, but Spirit is loudly giving you permission to give yourself permission to just allow yourself to enjoy the fruits of your labor that you have already put in work in the past towards. Like, now is the time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And by example, you're teaching your child that it's okay to do that too. This is very beautiful. And really, this is like, you can't make this stuff up. I always get amazed by how lovely, like, this is literally mirroring this. Even the Seven of Crystals is so similar to the Ten of Pentacles, right? And then you have the Nine of Cups. So the keywords for you in terms of advice: results, gratitude, and fulfillment. Trust the results and trust yourself enough to give yourself permission and allow yourself to be in the space of gratitude, contentment, joy, fun, and self-fulfillment. It's okay to enjoy your life. Okay, I hope that helps. And thank you once again for being here today. And I hope to see you again next month. Thank you. Bye.